Welcome, virtual audience, to the Happy Half Hour. I'm Kid at Heart, Steve Starobinsky, and this is a show with business and innovation experts from the gift and trend industry. I'm interviewing somebody really special to me. He's a friend of mine. We work together in the gift industry now for over 5 years together. He has this ability to lead by example. No task has ever been too small for him. And he just always carried this warmth when as a sales manager when we worked together. He has an incredible story to share, but he founded a company. Greg, say hello.
Steve, what an intro. Good to see you, man. Thanks for having me.
You're the nicest dude.
Excited to share some stories and some info with the audience.
Greg, where are you right now? It's a common question you must get asked.
Yeah, actually, that's an interesting story. We were with my girlfriend just about to go to South Africa for 6 weeks when the whole outbreak happened. So literally the borders of South Africa closed a day before our flight, and we were stuck in the UK in a way. And we decided to, find a quiet place. So we're in Scotland right now, taking it easy in the north.
Scotland, beautiful.
That's why we've got quite a cloudy day over here.
Yeah, I bet. That sounds wonderful. Well, Greg, before we talk about your new project, Trouvaille, I'd like to talk about your global sales management work at Thumbs Up, a leading tech and novelty company in the UK, and where we met and became friends. Can you tell us how you got started in the business and what you learned to eventually inspire Trouvaille?
Yeah, so it's an exciting story for me myself. Obviously, it's been an exciting time. I was just fresh out of uni after my MBA, and I completed a fixed-term project for an NGO, and I started looking for new opportunities. And after doing bits and pieces in project management, I was looking for areas that would be interesting and kind of drive my skills further. And so I started looking at sales opportunities, and Thumbs Up was looking for international sales executive for Eastern Europe. And it seemed to me like I'm ticking all the boxes. I submitted my CV. They called back the next day. I flew to London for an interview 2 days later. So it was a very quick chain of events, and it took from there. It all started with international sales executive, and then I climbed my way up to key accounts management and international sales management.
And then you took over managing the US out of London. I think that's really where we started to hang out. By coming, what were some of the differences that you noticed between the UK or even the European market and as a fresh face in the US market? What were some of the differences, good or bad, between the two markets?
Well, the first major difference that hits you right away when you start talking about American market is the scale. I mean, your population is like our entire continent combined, pretty much. So, and that's all happening in one market, which is an exciting thing for us as Europeans, obviously, thinking about America. But also, the business acumen of everyone that you get to talk to in the US. You are raised from the very, very young age with that perception of the value of capitalism, and you can feel that when you do business with Americans. It's very straightforward, very on point, very direct as well, which is not always the case for Europe. And then again, in Europe, you get to experience that cultural variety on more layers as well because of the language barriers and so on. So obviously, there are massive differences for European company when they enter American market.
Yeah, thanks, Greg. So then you took what looks to be the single greatest year off in the history of working. You bought an around the world ticket, and for the next 12 months went where? Everywhere. So as I ask you to talk about this little experience of yours, I'm going to start putting up pictures that you took on your travels. So the first one is coming up, Antarctica.
Yeah, so it all started with, with the notion that me and my partner Candelaria, we've been together a couple of years already, and we lived in London for 6 years at that time. So we kind of looked at what we're going to do forward, and we wanted to kind of look at our ambitions and lifetime goals, and that's where traveling was obvious choice for us. When we met back when we were 21, we talked about what we wanted to be for 30, and traveling around the world was one of those things that we mentioned. When she was 20, I was 21, and it stayed in the back of our heads for quite a while. And there came a point where you have a bit of love and hate relationship with big cities, and you need to take some time and appreciate things that you never usually have time for. And that's quite interesting in terms of what's happening right now, because we're seeing it on a different level globally. What I was kind of experiencing with my girlfriend back then on a personal level. So it all started with buying this round the world ticket, and we went to all the most amazing places in the world.
Yeah, we'll put up. I think this is my favorite picture. We'll get to favorites, but I'm putting up this Myanmar picture up on the screen right now. Can you tell me about that, please?
Yeah, so that's been an amazing story. Obviously we got to meet a lot of exciting people, and different cultures. Myanmar is such an exciting country. Some 8 years ago, they didn't even have a cash machine in that country. So we got to trek in the remote areas, and while trekking, we were kind of drawing attention of the locals. And at some point during one of the trek, we were invited for a quick tea and snack to one of the houses, and the hospitality we received was just enormous. The moment we stepped into this little cottage, the lady that you see on the photo started preparing everything and trying to host us the best way she could. And on that photo, she's roasting some peanuts for us to go with our tea. It was incredible and humbling experience. We loved Myanmar, one of the best destinations on our trip.
Unbelievable. And look, and speaking of destinations, you don't have to be too smart to figure out that your travel inspired your new line, your entrepreneurship. Those two experiences are connected. Can you give us a preview of the line? Can you share some of the things that are unique about it? And then we'll talk about sustainability, because I know it's at the core of everything that you do.
Yeah. So everything that we wanted to achieve with this line is kind of linked to our lifestyle. So a little product placement over here. That's one of our main items. We produce gifts for travelers, and the idea behind that product was to create something that we would love ourselves as travelers, but also something that is bringing some joy to others. So our mugs come with a special ceramic pen, and you get to color the places that you visited. We have versions for with the US map. We have versions with the world map, and also European versions. So it all started with the mugs, and when we were developing the range, that was the first idea that struck us, and we thought, okay, that there's something in it, we can build around that idea and take it further. And everyone we talked to seemed to really like the idea, and we started exploring from there. We have a bunch of other products. We have additional colors to make your mug colorful. We have totes. Here's an example of the tote. You also get to color States visited. This one is a bit battered. We use it on a daily basis for our shopping, so it's always with us. And also, when we started developing that range, we also realized that those are the items that we genuinely enjoy on a day to day. So all our family has the mugs, obviously. We shop with the totes. Our nieces and nephews are coloring the books that is inspired by
those are
our
some of the
travels.
pictures you guys took, right?
Yeah, so it's some of the pictures, all the locations that we've been to. This is where the inspiration came from. This is not a typical London, Paris, New York kind of coloring book. This is
Love it.
a lot of nature, a lot of animals, things that we love during our travels, and we try to incorporate in the products as well, and bring some of those less known places in the world to people's attention as well.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, your trip had a very profound personal effect on me. One, it was very inspirational to follow your dreams and having somebody be braver than you. And two, some of the issues that you made me aware of, whether it was, trash in everyday life for some people, and for what kind of impact unthoughtful packaging has on people very, very far from you. You just connected some dots for me, and I'd like to ask you about your feelings on sustainability. We know it's beyond a trend, but I'd love to hear your take on it.
Yeah, so obviously, it all comes together as an idea. Sustainability is part of what was close to our hearts when we were traveling. And most of the photos that I shared with you and that you have shown, you'll see a lot of nature and landscapes, some wildlife as well. And only when you get to see all these beautiful places in so many different areas of the world, in so many different contexts, you get to appreciate that what we do on a daily basis goes beyond our house, beyond our neighborhood. It goes beyond our country as well. And like you mentioned, that fact of, let's say, the packaging being sustainable is so important. What I've learned personally, and my girlfriend as well during this travel, and that gave us such a different and very important perspective, is when you go to those underdeveloped countries and you see trash lying around, you wonder why is it like that? These people must care about how they live. And when we started talking to locals, it turned out that they simply were always raised with the notion that whatever they have comes back to the environment. So when they had a banana, the banana peel was not a problem. But now when they have crisps packed in a plastic bag, their notion is, it's not a problem, but yes, it is. So, it goes on, it makes you realize that what is obvious for some people who are privileged to live in the countries and in the environments that we do, for some others in remote places around the world, it actually makes a massive difference on a day-to-day basis. Our habits are infiltrating their life, and simply we are not all ready for the changes that it brought to our environment and the drastic situation we're facing now. So having that all in mind and trying to bring that sensitivity to our company, we produce everything sustainably. We use recycled materials for packaging. We design everything in Europe, and we manufacture it locally in Europe to reduce our direct impact on obviously on environment. And so that has been something that we felt is really important and a core value of our brand, the sustainability. And we're really excited to see that it kind of becomes maybe not trendy, but it becomes worthy for all the businesses to look at that side of their activities.
Gregors, there's nothing that says a trend has to, has to be sexy and perfectly packaged. Sometimes a trend is uncomfortable. Sometimes it's multifaceted. Like, we can make money and we can do good for the earth. Like, those two things are not mutually exclusive. As long as product development, that's a core value of somebody like yourself who, has seen it. Gregors, the Triple H was born because I missed meeting cool people, discovering new products, and extracting insights, the distilled results of why we go to trade shows. What new ways have you been marketing your product? And in this time of reflection, is there anything different that you'd like to see from the trade for Christmas 2020 and beyond?
Yeah, so obviously, as a company, we were lucky that during our travels, we set up the whole business remotely. So by definition, we were ready for the situation that just occurred, and we could run our operations from whenever and wherever we are.
Yeah.
So obviously, from the perspective of how we're reaching our audience, not that much has changed for us, because it's always been a lot of networking. It was always a lot of content creation. Some of the, we had the amazing opportunity to take the product, travel-related product, to the most remote places in the world. So that base of the content that we have, and we have passion to share and stories to tell with, that's how we reach the audience with, mainly. So on that note, I think there's been a massive movement towards buying local, towards listening to small business stories. I think we all pulled together as people, as communities, to support each other. And so you see that on some scale already, and it's going to be very interesting to see how that carries on to the fourth quarter, and to kind of link it with the second part of your question. I do think, and I do hope that that change is not going to be only on the consumer side, but what I personally, by being in the gift industry for a number of years, wanted to achieve with my range, was to bring that awareness into the circles that we all are in, at the trade shows and with people that we interact and talk. So I would like to see that part.
Can I just interject here just to say, retailers, if you're listening to this, please make it easier for you to buy from small and new companies. Just make it a little bit easier to give these new companies a chance, and paperwork wise, all the hurdles they have to jump through, make it easier for yourselves to support new companies and new innovation, because you will prosper. Sorry, please.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We would all like one-page setup sheets, instead of lengthy documents that lawyers have to go through. But yeah, it would be great to see that change happening on different levels, throughout the entire supply chain, all the way through the consumer, and even after service, and things that what we do as companies after we sell the product. That sustainability aspect as well that we were discussing earlier. That's something, I think, it's wishful thinking at this stage still. It's been only a couple of months that we are under these extreme circumstances, and it's going to take a lot more to change habits and to kind of, make it a day-to-day. But I think we notice that everyone can pitch in and kind of take things forward, and it's and I'm quite positive, and I'm optimistic about the fourth quarter. I think we will see a good fourth quarter in terms of sales, all things considered, obviously. I think people still will look for something positive to give and share, and gifts and toys are always the thing. So
Sure, man.
It will be complicated, but I do think that we will see some interesting things to take out from the entire situation.
Perfect. Virgil Abloh said 5% better. I challenge retailers, consumers, myself to become 5% more sustainable.
Yeah, 100%.
Very achievable, but as fast as possible. Like no delays, 5%. That's all I'd like.
Yeah,
well, gee, he took us all around the world, showed us that sustainability gifting, new term, sustainability gifting is an option. Hippie capitalism, doing good and making money is possible. The last section of this show we call the creation of positive energy, where you get to compliment anyone, anywhere for doing a good job. Before I turn it over to you, make sure you follow Gregor's, make sure you follow Trouvaille. We'll post the Instagram handles. The profiles are incredible. This is like National Geographic photography. We'll flash a few more right here. Talk to you guys soon. Gregor's, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Steve. It's been a pleasure. And so glad that this part of the Happy Half Hour is giving a shout out to some other people who are doing a great job there and bringing something positive to the industry and to our daily life. So I would definitely want to give a shout out to one of our major partners in the US, Uncommon Goods. This is such a brilliant company. They are founding B Corporation. That means that they are not working only for profit, but they also want to do good with all their activities. And they are the nicest people to deal with. And we had an instant synergy when we discussed the product, our brand, and how we can work together. So it's been a very important support for us and the company to work with people who understand what we want to convey with our product, and who actually have the following and the audience that exactly taps into the values and cares about the things that we care as well. So that's one of the shout outs that I really I'm happy to share. I would also want to we mentioned all our travels, and it's from personal experience. I wanted to give a shout out to a company called Le Freak. This is a company from Spain, and they produce bags and backpacks out of recycled PET bottles, which is amazing to to have an opportunity to take products to all 7 continents, that instead of trashing it, kind of help us along the way as we travel. So we had amazing backpacks from Le Freak, and I think they do a great job in doing that 5% that Steve mentioned, and finding ways to kind of progress in some areas, and free us from immense problem of plastic. And the third call out, very quick one, to Work for Good. Work for Good UK is a platform that allows small businesses like ours, small and mid-sized businesses like ours, to select and start working with the charities that we want to support. Donating is not as simple as everyone thinks, especially as a business. It comes with some, rules for large charities, even contracts and so on. So it's a great platform for every business to have a look and browse and see what kind of initiative they can take and how easy it is. It's just a couple of clicks, and they can be part of a great cause. So I'm excited to share those with you all, guys.
Amazing, brother. Thank you so much. Trouvaille, changing the world one mug at a time, encouraging you to travel, get a passport.
Love that slogan, Steve. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye.